Hello everyone, and I welcome you all to another video of our queue series. So in the previous video, we learned about the introduction of a queue. Queue is basically, as we saw, that it follows the FIFO order, which is first in first out, right? And then we talked about the application of a queue, and now it's the time for queue implementation using. Okay, my bad. This should be array. Okay, yeah. So the functions which we have to do here are Enqueue, Dequeue, is empty, is full, front, and rear. All right. So we can see, like, by the name you can see what these functions do. This inserts an element, this removes an element, this tells whether the queue is empty, this tells whether the queue is full, this tells the first element of queue, and this tells the rear element of queue. Okay. All right. Now, with the help of array, like we can have like two arrays. One is fixed array and one is circular array. All right. So in the fixed array, what we can do exactly is we always fix the front at here. Okay. Now suppose this was our queue, right? 10, 20, 30 and 40. Okay. Now the question arises is key how, like, suppose you have to delete an element, you will always delete it from the front. Okay. Okay, you deleted it. Now this becomes empty. Now since we have fixed our front, so we'll move every element one space back, and this operation is going to take a big O of n time, right? And we don't want to do that, right? So for that reason, what we do is we use a circular queue. Okay. So this is not the thing which we attempt. We attempt the circular queue. Okay. So in the circular queue, what happens? Suppose 20, 30 and 40 are left. Now front will rotate and will come here. Alright. And our rear is here only. Now suppose I delete 20 as well. Okay. Now my front will come here. Now if I have to add an element, what I'll do? I'll do rear plus 1 modulo size. So this will shift my rear to here. Okay, this would be still 40 and I'll insert an element. Similarly, when we dequeue something, we, like, suppose I dequeued this and I'm here. Now if I dequeue something from here as well, what I'm going to do? This is going to go here, like front is going to shift here. So front plus 1 percentage size as well. Alright. So this is what we are doing here. Alright. Now we understood like how a circular queue is going to work, and rest, I guess that rest parts are easy. For front, we'll just see out array front. For rear, we'll see out array right. For is empty, we'll check if front is at 0, it would be 0. If rear would be at 0, then it would be 0. And for full, we'll check if queue size is equal to queue's capacity. Okay. Now to do all these stuff, what we are going to, like, how to implement it via code, let's talk about that. Okay. Hmm. First of all, let's obviously include our header files here. Okay, and now let's make a class of queue. In public, let's declare some variables. One would be front, one would be obviously rear, and what else? One would be size. Okay, we'll have unsigned capacity. Obviously, it would be unsigned. Sorry, unsigned. Yeah. And other than this, we'll have int star add. Alright, what is the problem here? Okay, no problem, no issue. Hmm. Okay, so this is the class queue which we created. Okay, now we'll create a queue. Let's name it create queue. Alright, and here we'll have unsigned capacity. Right, now our queue is equal to new queue. Okay, okay, variables are overloading, so because it would be easy to make the variable queue, right? Hmm. Okay, now this works. Yeah. Okay. Now queue capacity would be capacity, obviously. Queue's front is equal to queue's size, which would be 0, and queue rear is going to be capacity minus 1. Okay. And if I have to make queue's array here, it is going to be new int what would be the size of it. Queue's capacity, right, into size of int. Okay, here we just made the array with the variable capacity, because capacity is variable here. We'll declare it would be a user thing. All right, and in the end we'll simply return queue. Right, now if I have to make a function is full, I'm simply going to have queue star queue. What it is going to return? It will simply return uh, queue's size is equal to queue's capacity, right? If its size becomes equal to its capacity, it would be full. Okay. And what about int is empty? It would return queue's what would it be? So for is empty, we'll use size is equal to 0. Right, if size is 0, that means there is no element present. Now we'll write about void enqueue. Okay, I guess I use this spelling only. Okay, this is my first function, so never mind. Queue star Q, right? And like I have to declare the variable. Let's in the inserted variable would be, let's call it item. Okay. Now if I say if is full, Q return. That means we don't have any space to insert this element. We'll simply return it. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen is, what did I tell you? Q's rear would become Q's rear plus 1 percentage Q's capacity. This is the exact thing I told you. Q's capacity. Right, this is the exact thing I told you. If you remember, see this, rear plus 1% size. Right. Okay. Now Q's in Q's array of Q's rear, we are going to put item. Okay. And Q's size would increase. Okay. Now suppose I have to dequeue something. Right. Suppose I have to dequeue from Q. I'll say if is empty, return. That means our queue is empty and we don't have anything to delete. So we'll just simply return. Okay. Yeah, cool. Okay. Now what I'll do here is I'll simply do Q front is equal to Q front plus 1. Just let's put it in bracket and we'll just simply divide it by Q's capacity. Right. That is what we are going to do. Q's capacity. Right. This is what I told you here. See, front plus 1% capacity, size of this whole array. For suppose here it is 4, so it would be 4. Okay. So that is how our dequeue function would work. Okay. And size would obviously decrease, so we'll decrease the size as well. Okay. Now what we have to do, we'll simply int front. It will tell us the front value, the element which is in front. Suppose if it is empty, like there is no front element, what we are going, let's return -1 here. Okay. Otherwise, we can simply return Q's arrays and Q's front. What's the problem here? Okay, this is not that, this is this. Right. I hope this should solve the problem. Yeah, okay. Now if I talk about int rear, what it would be? It would be q star q if is empty q. We are going to simply return -1. Else we are simply going to return Q's arrays real. Right, this is what we are going to do. So I hope you understood how we made all these functions. We'll quickly take a recap. So what we did here is that just we made a class of queue. Okay, and in the variables we declared different variable, real variable, size variable, and capacity and array. And in while making our queue, what we did is we had a function queue create queue unsigned capacity, and here we this is basically you can say a constructor, but I didn't you know declared it inside our class because it would be a little messy there. Okay, so just what happens is just we are making a queue here with our unsigned capacity. Okay, and we're declaring everything everywhere. Okay, now int is full. I guess that is pretty obvious. When size becomes equal to capacity, that means our queue is full. Is empty if size is 0, that means our queue is empty. How to increment an element? I told you we'll increase the area by 1 and we'll do a modulo of it by capacity. So it does not go out of bounds, real person. Similarly, dequeue, we increase the front and do a modulo so it doesn't get out of bound, and we decrease the size here and we increase the size in the enqueue part. And in int front we take out the element which is the front element, that is if is empty queue return -1, otherwise return queue front. Okay, and similar thing happens in our rear part. Okay. So I guess you understood the concept of how to implement a queue using array. So it is also a little bit tricky since we have to use a circular array, but I guess you understood how to use a circular array, so that is a plus point here. And so thank you for watching this video, and in the next video we are going to talk about C++ STL class, which contains the standard inbuilt queue, and we will look at its functions as well. Okay. So thank you for watching, and if you have any doubt regarding anything, you may put it in the comment section, and stay tuned for further videos.